Okay, so when I have the permission to start officially the event, I'm going to start to introduce Super. So we are really happy to have you here to be able to organize this event by the support of the European Commission. By this support, we could elevate our domestic women-focused business program to an international level. And for example, we had Ditte, one of the speakers, who was a key mentor in our Womentoring program. But now we are talking about Womenture. So we are really happy about it, that we could organize it. Briefly introduce what Womenture is. What do you think, what percentage of women-funded startups received investment in the CE region? Who thinks 20%? Less than 20. 15? 2? Yeah, the truth is 1 actually. Mixed teams received 5%. And this is not only the pickiness of the investors, but we realized that there are not many female funded startups at that level where they can get investment. So that's why we decided to focus on idea phase startups in our pre-acceleration program. As all of our startups, we also have a beautiful one-liner. So what we are doing exactly is empowering innovation agencies and accelerators, boosting female entrepreneurship by this, and by broadening the ecosystem. So this is Womenture, actually. We have 3 pillars as our mission. We are focusing on network. We are really happy to be able to organize such an event to build a community, because we feel this is the power of such a program, because this way you can support each other. We are operating in this Womenture for 1.5 years. We have 6 more months in this project, but we really, really hope that our efforts put in this project won't die by the end. I mean, together as a community, we can work together, more supporting each other. Another pillar is a business support program. We organized a 7-week-long intensive business support program. Hands up who participated in the program. There are only 1 person here, but there will be another here. We had a few Hungarian startups. I'm going to show you a bit later about the numbers. We had 39 countries applied for this program. So it was an international one. The capacity building is also an important pillar. What is it exactly? That's what I'm doing right now. So sharing knowledge, sharing, so collaborating. We are working in this project as 4 partners from Czech Republic, DAX Innovation Center, Germany, SpinLab, and from Estonia, Technopol. They are all giving accelerator services for startups. What happened until now? We started our journey with an analysis to be able to give the right answers for the needs, to be able to analyze the gaps. So based on these findings, we co-created our pre-acceleration program. After that, we organized a Female Founder Summit in Tallinn as the side event of the Latitude 59 conference, which is one of the biggest startup conferences in Europe. And we selected the 5 best startups. Hello, welcome. We are always happy to welcome speakers in the front line. So we selected the 5 best startups, and they could present their ideas on the summit. Okay, so we realized in this analysis a few findings that we can do something about, and we saw that the soft skills are something that we really have to focus on in such a program designed especially for women, because they need an emotional support. And the limited representation of role models was also one thing that motivated us to kick off our ambassador program. I would like to ask the ambassadors of the Womenture to raise up the hands. Okay, you will have the opportunity to talk to them in the networking part. Based on the findings, we designed our idea-focused program, soft skill-focused program, and we saw that a regular follow-up to keep motivated the startups is also an important part. And we are planning to follow up after the program as well in every 4 months to ask how are you proceeding to motivate them not to stop their activities. So not only during the program, but also after. And we divided all the 20 startups that we supported in the pre-acceleration program among the 4 partners. So this way, we could dedicate more attention to one startup. I really like this structure. We got some nice feedback from our startups. I think you are not able to read all the text, but you can check the emojis expressing that they were quite confident. Let me share some interesting numbers about the program. We delivered 107 mentoring hours in our program by inviting 47 speakers and mentors during the pre-acceleration and for the summit. From 39 countries, there were more than 200 applications for the pre-acceleration program. In our last report, we counted more than 600 hub members by organizing 9 networking events, also similar like this. Also, there were some smaller ones. And we are working currently with 19 ambassadors. What's coming next? We are going to organize 3 more inspirational get-together like this, but it will be probably online. So it will open the opportunity for everyone to join. We are a growing community. You can still join. In the next slide, you will see the QR code. So please prepare your phone if you are not in the Slack community yet. We are constantly looking for partners to join this mission. And we are always open to collect best practices, how we can efficiently support female founders. Here is our team. They are working in the grant management team, working on similar projects like this. So here around, you will have the opportunity to, please raise your hands up. Katalin, Beata, and the others are somewhere else. So if you are an accelerator incubator or female-focused initiatives, or if you're an experienced female entrepreneur, or you are just starting your journey, or you are a policymaker, you are really welcome to still join. So here is the promised QR code. I also have it on my phone, so if you don't have the opportunity to scan it right now, you will have it later as well. Okay, so let's jump to our our first speaker after me. Please welcome Ditta. She is really into digital marketing. And we are collaborating for about 4 years with her.
Hello, everyone. I might be a surprise for those who prepared for the event because I was not in the original agenda. I got the request yesterday to talk to you about work-life balance as a mother and an entrepreneur. So as parenting is a surprise, I hope I'm going to be a positive one for you as well, because you prepared probably some more serious topics. But what I can now provide you is some learnings and experiences based on my journey, how I managed to build up my own consultancy, and also to have my family who are supporting me here. So they are here backwards. And thank you for that, for my amazing husband. So actually the support, I'm going to mention that it is really needed. But I wanted to start first with this work-life balance thing, because I know that it must be tiring to hear about it all the time. I mean, I felt tired all the time hearing like, you have to have some free time, you have to work hard, you have to build up this, and then you have to relax, and then you have to go to holiday, and then, so it's really like, okay, but how? And at the beginning, after university, I felt like, I'm more on the work person. Okay, I don't really need a life. I like to do what I'm doing. I did digital marketing from the beginning, actually, and it was fine for me. So I like to spend time in the office. I like to learn a lot. I like to experience with the new tasks, and I was like, okay, let's go out for some parties with the colleagues, but. You know, why would I need nothing? More serious things. I felt like I was single. I felt like it's okay for me. And then what I actually felt was that who was talking about work-life balance is usually those person who wanted to have life balance. So not working that much, having more fun. But of course, later on, I get into relationship, and I was still working 12 or 14 hours in the corporate, but I felt the need to have some separate time with my partner. So I realized that, okay, I have to a bit focus more on building up this personal space of mine. And therefore, I started to say no to tasks at the job. And it was really hard. You know, like, people get used to that I'm a yes person. I'm always happy to do the stuff, anything actually, staying late night, whatever. So I started to say no, and it was not just hard for them to listen, but it was really hard for me to say. I'm a kind of people pleaser, and I like to make people get what they want. Therefore, it was really difficult to say the no, but after saying more and more no's in situations, I realized that, okay, it's something I can do, and they are not that angry, so they still love me or like me, so it's okay to continue. And then I met my current husband, and things get more serious, so we started to talk about kids. And I realized that if I'm going to have kids, saying no is going to be a constant lifestyle. Because I want to focus, of course, on my family. I want to focus on kids. So I realized that, okay, this is something I have to practice. And the first practice was that I said no to my corporate job and started my own business. It was a huge jump. I was working in corporate for 10 years. And then I decided that, okay, now I have the experience. Now I know a lot of strategies. I saw a lot of things, met a lot of people. So maybe I can do my own stuff. I started to build up an application. And funnily, I mean, it's just the life. But funnily, it was for parents. So I built up a platform where parents was able to find activities for their kids. But at that time, I didn't have any kids so I just felt that this is a need from the parent side. And I had a lot of friends with kids, so I realized that this would be fun. Let's say, I was lucky because I got a lot of support as a female entrepreneur. I joined Design Terminal mentoring program. It was amazing. I learned a lot. But COVID hit in, and it hit us very hard. And I decided to stop the application and try to focus on something else. And then that was the time when we discussed with my husband that maybe we should have kids. But you know, I felt that having kids without a corporate job, a failed business, it's not something which I'm comfortable with. I'm a person with plans. So I like to make plans, A, B, C scenarios, Excel sheets with pros and cons. And so it was not something I was able to digest, like just have. Maybe we should wait a bit, and I should figure out what to do. And somehow life helped me. So I became a consultant because of my experience in digital marketing. I get a lot of requests to support some project, to support some campaigns. And then I started to hold trainings. I was a teacher back then at university. So I started to consult, and I started to make trainings, everything. But in the meantime, of course, we was trying to have the family, which was a bit hard for us. So at the end, we went to IVF. So we have a baby through this process. And I was really, really working for this baby as well. And I really wanted to have it. But when I get pregnant, to be honest, I was super panicked, okay? Because I realized that now this is the moment when I have to really think about this work-life balance again, okay? So before it was work and life, and in the future it should be life and hopefully some work. I was so afraid of it, and I didn't see any role models who managed it. I mean, of course, if I follow, I'm following people from outside of Hungary, but in Hungary, most of the cases you see that women goes to 2-3 years of maternity leave from a corporate job, stable background, somewhere where they can go back. So I didn't see anyone who was succeeding during they were building up a business and having kids. So I started to read a lot and started to find some good examples like how you can really manage it. And of course, we had a lot of discussions with my husband, and what we realized that the only way to do it is really to involve him as well in the whole process and journey. So I'm very lucky because I have a husband who was happy to share this responsibility. And basically we agreed that after 6 months of my maternity leave, he's going to paternity leave. So when my son became 6 months old, he left his corporate job and he became a full-time parent, which is very rare. So still in our friends, I think I know one person who did this. So it is not something I can recommend, you know, like, okay, what are the learnings of your entrepreneurial journey? Have a nice husband who is going to paternity. It's not that easy, I know. So I started to, you know, build up this story in myself because, you know, like, I believe that we women are capable to anything. So our source of energy and willingness is endless. I feel it as a mother as well, but as an entrepreneur also. That somehow we have this deep down package of knowledge, energy, and everything. So I wanted to show this, and I wanted to, you know, like, talk about it with women. And therefore, I decided that next to my consultancy business, I'm going to mentor teams and I'm going to mentor women to help them to build their business up. Because the funny thing is that when I went back, and I was super stressed and I was super panicked after my first child, when I went back to work, I was even more successful than before. So I get more requests, I get more leads, I get more opportunities. So somehow, I don't know, universe or whatever, but somehow it helped me a lot. And it was even so much that we got a lot of conflict over time. Because as I mentioned, my work-life balance with the family became our work-life balance. And I was not only focusing on my, you know, wants and needs and things, but I had to focus on my husband's as well. So the hard part, actually, to do this is that you have to be very good in time management and you have to be very good in communication. Because, okay, you think that, oh, I can easily come to this event and talk about my experiences, but if my husband is not available, then I have to pay someone. But that someone should meet first my kid, because without knowing him, why would he or she come? So it's not that easy. So you have to always communicate. You have to work with your partner like you are working in a company with them, although he's doing totally different stuff. But we have to have stand-ups, and that's funny. So we have stand-ups in our life where we are discussing our weekly plans and who is doing what, when is happening, what are the supports we are requesting for. And that was the second learning, that you have to ask for support. I'm usually saying like, no, I can do it, I can handle. But then I realized that without support, even in business or in everyday life, you won't survive. So we started to have support. We are paying for someone to take care of the child when we are not there, which was, again, very difficult and unusual around most of my friends. But I knew that I need to do other stuff than just being a parent. And so it's not a good way or a bad way. So it's my way. I like to do other stuff than just being a parent. And it's also totally fine if you're going to be a full-time parent. So it's not anything like, so it's a scale. So you should be in one part and other part, and all is great. But for me, I learned that I need this. And again, the hard part was after building up our super good working ecosystem, like he's working actually 20 hours a week. I was working 20 hours a week. We had support, we had stand-ups, we had like everything going on. Then, as I mentioned, we had the first baby as IVF, and now we had a first surprise baby out of nowhere. So I was more scared than before. Like, I didn't plan this. It's not in my timeline, you know, like I had a plan what I want to achieve next year. So it's not. I have this client who has this event. I have this whatever. So it's not fitting in. But of course, you solve it. And being a parent, actually, that taught me a lot about how to be flexible and how to adapt to these kind of challenges. So what we did differently this time, that I went to a work-life designer coach, and she supported me to build up that journey until I go back to work again. Like, how can I keep in touch with my network? How can I support my clients even I'm not on board? And how can I keep my brain working during the time of the beginning of the journey? And it was a great investment, to be honest. So spending money for someone who helped me design this career path, let's say. And if you're an entrepreneur, you have to think about your own replacement, okay? So no one going to come and hire someone to your projects, actually. So I discussed it with all of my clients, like how long I'm planning to be away and what would be the solution in between. So I had great colleagues who I was able to recommend to my place, and I had even like great solutions from the clients who said like, okay, so this quarter we're not going to do the report what you are usually doing, but we're doing it in a half year, so like the H2. So we are skipping one, and when you are back, we can do the other report, which I was responsible to do it. So planning ahead was, I mean, it made me feel more comfortable about the whole situation. And also I felt from my client side that this is a care what they don't usually get, okay? So because if someone is getting out of picture, they don't usually taking care of what is going to happen with the client. So it was, again, I think, a very good point. And the third thing what I planned was to make myself, I mean, to push myself in the situation that I have to keep updated and the trends on the happenings around me. So what I decided that I'm going to write articles every month until I'm not back to work. So I'm writing now articles for what I have to read, what is happening, what is the fresh news, who are doing what. So I have every month this article which I'm writing. And of course, if an opportunity comes in, then I'm going to decide whether I would like to take it or not. And I've been on a conference already when my second child was 2 months old, and I'm here now. Now she's 4 months old. So I'm trying to keep myself also busy a bit, because that's how I can, you know, be visible. And what we discussed during the first break, that perception is reality. And the funny thing is that whenever I post something on LinkedIn, on the social media, that I'm doing this or I'm doing that, people think that I'm actually working, which is not exactly true. Okay, I'm writing articles, but I'm not managing clients, I'm not doing any reports, I'm not doing the everyday job. Just I did something where I was able to create an image of myself that I'm working, and this perception helps me to keep the clients and to keep this kind of incoming interest of or about my business. So this is my story on how to survive if you have unexpected situations as a mother and an entrepreneur. But I wanted to also summarize for you, if you're like also thinking about or in the situation of having a family, that what would be, I think, it would be nice to learn about it, like anywhere, that preparation for something is needed, even if life can change, even if you know, shit hits in, sorry to say, but that happened. That you have to be prepared with plans, because at least you have a plan where you can stick to. So okay, life is changing, but you had an original plan, so you can go back to it when you are okay or you already built up. So that's why I recommend to discuss with someone, even a coach, even a mentor, even somebody, how you're planning your future. It may change, but at least you have a plan. The second thing I learned is that you have to prioritize. And you hear it a lot again, like work-life balance, yeah. But prioritization, it means that you have to really think about all the tasks, like having a coffee, like going out for a conference, like doing the job you have to do, like being with your child. You have to prioritize this stuff and then set up borders, okay? Because you don't have always the time to do everything, which is, I'm also a people who has FOMO. I really want to be everywhere, but it's not doable. And what my 2 children taught me, that sometimes doing nothing is probably the best you can choose. So if you prioritize and if you're doing the borders, then probably you can find time to do nothing. That's again. And the third one is about the support that you have to find those people, friends, family, coaches, mentors, who cheers you up, who helps you on the journey, who supports you when you are alone, who even like, I have a friend, we are in totally different areas of business, but sometimes we just talk about our struggles to each other, and probably she's not always understanding because she's in corporate and she never been an entrepreneur. But to have someone who I can, just say my struggles and difficulties, it is really empowering. And that's why these communities are great, because here you have the opportunity to meet with like-minded people and discuss your difficulties, not just the good things, but also those which really hits you hard. Because like, learning from it really can help you. And I'm still in the learning curve, so I'm not good to say no all the time. I'm not good to keep my borders all the time. I'm not good to manage my time all the time. So I was like, last autumn, I was overbooked, and I was not able to prioritize. So we had a lot of fights, and it was very difficult time. But based on that, I learned that, okay, so how much clients should I really take care of? And this is how you learn it, because otherwise no one can tell you like how much you can do. And the last thing is about the digital tools and productivity stuff. So I'm the big fan of Trello, Toggle, Google Docs, ChatGPT, anything which makes your life a bit easier and automated, because that can save you time and that can help you to stick your plans. So that was what I planned to say to you, because it was a very spontaneous opportunity to talk to you about it. But I really believe that if we are sharing not just these learnings, but also the difficulties, and also like how we were able to stand up from this stuff, and how we are balancing and managing our work and life, and sometimes it's really not in balance, but if you're checking it in the long run or the long term, I think you're going to end up in a balance. So that's what I see, that there are some days when you have work more, and there are some days when you have life more, but at the end, it's going to add probably some kind of middle stuff. So yeah, thank you for this opportunity, and I hope it can help a bit.
We are going to have time only for one question.
Thanks for sharing your journey, and please say as much shit as you want. The question I have, which I found very interesting, was you were looking for role models in Hungary, and now in the digital age, why is it so important for you to find someone in Hungary? Because there are so many role models outside of Hungary, but why is it so important for you to find a role model in Hungary?
I think there are 2 aspects which were important for me. The one thing is the taxation and the whole entrepreneurial difficulties around administration and everything. So it was not easy, for example, as a woman, like how can I solve my income during the maternity leave? Because it's not obvious that you get something from the government if you're going to maternity leave as an entrepreneur. So I wanted to find some people who already did this, who was able to get some income during this time, and also who have their own an enterprise or company to manage, and that's what I wanted. The taxation administration part was very interesting for me at that time. And the second one is the cultural aspect, that I think that we are a bit behind of the Western markets. And it's very good to see women raising in US and UK and France, etc. But in Hungary, so just to tell you an example, when I was working at a bank, I was a director at that time. I was responsible for digital marketing, but I was on a very high level. I went into a meeting where I was the only woman. And the question I get immediately, and I enter the room, that, oh, are you going to bring coffee as well? I was like, sorry, no, I'm here for the meeting, and probably you can bring your own coffee or find someone. So the expectation of a woman in a higher position or as an entrepreneur, sometimes, I wouldn't say that that's the usual stuff, but sometimes it's a bit different in Hungary. And that's why I wanted to find someone who is, through these difficulties and cultural differences, are able to be a good role model.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We are going to proceed with our agenda. So I would like to ask the roundtable speakers to take their seat, and I'm going to shortly introduce them. So please welcome Beatrix Bedő, co-founder and CFO and mentor of Impact Hub Budapest, Emmy Ugg, who is going to be the moderator of the roundtable discussion, who is Emmy Ugg Orban originally from last week, since her wedding, and Kata Keveházi, co-founder of Hungarian Women's Fund president and well-being CEO of the Wellbeing Foundation.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today and to moderate this conversation. I have never been able to watch that Barbie video without tearing up. I find it so inspirational, and I definitely want to make sure that we make the change that we have to do for little girls to see themselves in roles that are leadership roles or roles that are typically more, men usually take them more. I'm also very excited to be talking to the two of you. You both have very impressive backgrounds, so I'm very excited to dig in a bit about all the work you've both done and what you're still doing. So let's start off with you. You've been working to support women's equality for like 24-ish years, and I would love to hear like what are the trends, what are the changes that you've seen during this time?
Years. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm
Thank you. So it's 25 years now, 24 years now, actually, that I started to give advice to women about reintegrating, returning back to the labor market after maternity leave. And I was really impressed by the speech before, because I think Dita is a role model, definitely. So we found a role model about the conciliation of work life, restarting the careers, having the self-reflection and all the abilities to be successful as an entrepreneur as well. So when I would like to go back a little bit why we founded the foundation. It was in the middle of the 90s. Some of you were still babies or not born yet. And I had my first baby at that time after the university and started a high-profile career in a multinational company. And my generation faced that kind of combining maternity and career. It's impossible in Hungary. So that was the challenge what we all faced, and that was the first generation who gave birth much more later. Our mother's generation gave birth to kids at their early 20s or in their 20s, and I was, with my age of 27 at that time, I was one of the youngest who gave birth to the kids, and still we couldn't find a solution how to continue our career in the multinational and the corporate sector. So to answer to your question, what has been changing? I think in the multinational sphere, there are much more possibilities for women going back to the labor market. But that's only one segment in the society. And most of the women are still struggling with the issue. So I think that it's no better than it was in 2002 when we started the foundation. It was a completely grassroots initiative. And we wanted to find solutions, individual solutions, corporate solutions, state solutions, and we've been building an organization that gave answers for all the structures, because it is a structural problems. To answer to your question, what is the cultural stuff about it? So Hungary is a really, really conservative country concerning the gender roles. So the biologic function of women, it's really, really important. So you are valued in the society when you are young for your beauty, but you shouldn't be clever as if you are beautiful. Or you are valued how many kids you have. But if you are you are getting into some age, you face the age discrimination. So it's a biological usefulness that defines the women actually in the society. It's still so. It's nothing better. So I think it's a really difficult path if we go as a researcher, as an expert. Let me just give some data that there is the international statistic of OECD about gender gaps. And as for the women's participation in the public life, Hungary is at the rank of 139th place from 146 countries. That shows that women really do not have an important voice within the society, not only representation in the political life. We don't have any women member of the government. And we have constantly lack of women MEPs, lowest rate with the 12% still. So I think that that shows the picture that how women entrepreneurship is important, because we should, I think, build a strong, influential layer of women in the country. And I think it's, as the role model, our role model Dita said, it's a kind of individual problem for everybody. If you find your solution, you are good, but we should build networks when women can support each other to advance, because there are structural differences. And our organization was working a lot on structural inequalities and giving answers in all levels.
Thank you. That's a great summary. Can you tell us a bit about Momentum Project? This is something that you're involved in. We'd love to hear a bit about, the mission and what's next.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. So the Momentum Project started more than 2 years ago, and it finished last year end. Just for the clarity, Momentum has got nothing to do with the party that is in Hungary. This is a project, so that's why we even asked our consortium partners, because there were 11 consortium partners leading with ActionAid Greece, and especially for third country national women living in a country where generally in the EU they call it migrants, because this is not their home country. So, but as in Hungary, not only the momentum as the word, but also the migrants word is kind of negative meaning according to our government or kind of public way. So we rather use the word third country national and third country national women. This is more PC, I think. It means that from women coming from non-EU countries. And the aim and the objective of this program was also to have and integrate, to have a gender equality or support gender equality for women living in a foreign country like in Hungary. as well as integrate them into the society. Now, as you put your hands up, and I would say that 2/3 of you are not Hungarians, or similar like the number that we have, or hands were up, I can tell you that really Hungary as the country is not very much supporting third country national women. So that's why we've had to elaborate and collaborate and collect Your Late Foundation, Wellbeing Foundation as well, but also Shelter Foundation, Menedék, or other associations. I can say Maltese, or Baptist, or the Reformists. So there are other associations who are really, or Artemisio Foundation, some of the names might be familiar for you, that our aim was to get together with the stakeholders who are working together, because that's the first layer that you have to do, that get the sort of organizations and associations working with women from third country national, from other countries, and collaborate and make our common goals, make a statement, and work together and collaborate. So create and collaborate. And then after half a year, we launched programs for women, such as employment counseling, which is very important, I think, because most of the women are looking for jobs. And a huge barrier is the language, the Hungarian language. I know that it's also difficult. So that's why our second kind of also, and these are all free of charge. So the women did not have to pay. The whole project covered it. We've had language exchange courses for women communities, but as well as really integrating them by bringing together the women in a community. So we've had one of the most loved event that we've had, for example, that was a kind of a beauty event. But just imagine that women from third countries come together. There were hairdressers, cosmeticians, henna painters, different kind of beauty sessions. And they were actually offering and doing giving tips and tricks, and of course not washing hairs, but making different kind of tricks, whatever. So you can see how African women, for example, wear, and sometimes I even don't know how it is made, and they showed us. So it was really good to see what they are good at, and to share what they are good at, as well as bringing value to the community, getting to know each other. And since then, for example, there are little groups that they still come together and started even offering services together. So, and besides that, we also had one part, which is today's topic is entrepreneurial, and that's what I think that Impact Hub Budapest, we are good at, by providing a community space as well for our events, but also programs for business development, because that's another challenge. So if you have a dream, and we know about and dream big, then you need to know exactly, and my concern is be prepared for your entrepreneurship. Jumping in is just, it's a 50-50 Mexican standoff. Either you win or you lose, and very much, and then that's a failure for you. So being prepared for your entrepreneurial life, as well as getting the knowledge, getting all those skills, doing your business model canvas, knowing your customer segments, what they want, how you reach them, what is your revenue would be, and how much would be the revenue. One of the main challenge, and last year we've had 5 programs, business development programs, just for women. So I'm a little optimistic, considering what Kata just mentioned, whether we have changed or not in the last decades. But I think that the EU, and also other associations nowadays, as this event is also for women, and most of us are women here, so very much concentrating and giving support for women. And those women who want to get the support, who want to get a good financial projections that you would definitely need, because if you want to get an investment, the first question, where does your revenue come from? What is your EBITDA? And if you don't know what is EBITDA, then don't even meet an investor. So you need to get the knowledge, and you need to do your homework, your business plan, and the basis of your company to set up. So that's what we give. I don't want to look at our webpage. You will find us. We work with Visa, for example, with She's Next program. We've had 540 applications and winners, and they get a grant as well as mentoring. And mentoring is extremely important. So having an individual mentor for a year, helping through your challenges, and really having a third eye. Because as Ditta said, the husband is great, but never ever ask a real advice from your husband, because what we will get, oh my dear, you are so nice, you are so good. Yeah, you don't need that. You need a clear eye. You need a different point of view. So my understanding is that a mentor, and if you have a good mentee and mentor relationship, then always, and you have set your objectives, what you want to, where you want to get to, how you reach, you get. I think I talk a lot, and I'm sorry about, but this is all about Momentum Project, that we really help them in ways of entrepreneurship, employment, well-being also, so giving mental health consultants and workshops for them. And out of the whole, the most important is the women community. If you are in a community, you honestly, that you can make magic. So that's what I see in many projects.
So let's talk a bit about mentoring. I do a lot of mentoring of different age groups, different teams, and what I have seen is that a lot of times I end up spending a lot more time with the startups that are founded by women to really encourage them and make them believe in themselves more, or when they're putting together a pitch deck to really talk about it as like, this is my future, versus this could potentially be our future. And I see a lot of that, just simply changing grammar so that they themselves believe that they can do it. So even in that example, I feel like women sometimes are a few steps behind their male counterparts, because when I get on a call with a team of just guys, they're all like, okay, so let's talk about this, and they're already a few steps ahead. So I wonder, I know that you also mentor through the Startup program, so potentially you can share a bit about whether you see differences when you're working with different makeups of teams, and whether you see a lot of women teams, because that's another one I've noticed, is that they end up being a lot more of them are men.
Let me just go back to our name, Impact Hub Budapest, because we focus on really on impact and what is an impact, what is a social enterprise? Yes, because that's where you have a social impact. So, and I need to tell you that out of the 5 programs, nearly more than 75% or 3/4 of the ventures, of the entrepreneurs are impactful, are social enterprises. Why? Because we, women, see the problem of the society. And if you want to solve the problem of the society with a business, now that's a social enterprise. So you solve a problem of the society, and whether it's relating to kids or other. Now different kind of, and honestly, in startup world, I was now just recently mentoring a Hungarian startup university program where not only university students were there, but also elder ones. And there were mixed and only women startups as well. That's where I know that still there is innovation coming from startup. But in the startup world, I think that still, as we could see, I said 2% for the question of investment in the CE region. We understood that it's 1%, but what I feel is that in startup world, in the digital tech world, there are still less women than, for example, in social enterprises. Yes, so in businesses which are not digitally tech, so there's no kind of application related to that, but more to current businesses, to circularity, to other ones, and mentoring. Both ends, there are challenges. So not only in the startup world, as also Womenture had a lot of startups, women one, but also from the social enterprise level, it's the same. Understanding the impact and impact measurement, I would definitely put it as a homework for the startups as well. But that's what we give a plus in our work. And being a mentor, I think you need to understand always what is the challenge. And if the mentee is trustworthy and of course trust the mentor, then there's integrity between them. And then you know exactly what is the problem. And then if you know the problem, then that's the start point, when we know what is the main challenge or what I would like to reach to and where I would like to get to. And then we draw a kind of a map, how we get there, how many sessions, what is the time. I sometimes even say for an investor, but also for a mentoring, that it's like kind of a marriage with an investor as well as with a mentor, yes? But you know exactly when you leave, when there's the divorce. So you need, when you actually say to the investor that, okay, this is the period. So you set the time for the mentee as well. Of course, in many cases, I still have a mentee from 2017, which is like 7 years now. So mentoring needs a lot of understanding of the business as well as the challenges. And of course, the mentor should say whether I'm competent in answering those questions or we need an expert. That's a very important thing, that I cannot know everything and I might need an expert in solving. But it's a lovely, lovely work to be a mentor and to support someone. And then at the end, when you have the closing meeting, it's nice to look back together and to see where you started. And I often do an analysis like the doctor does, yes, when you go to a doctor and see what's the problem of your body. And then we see what is the problem of your being as an entrepreneur, and then where you get to and how this whole journey, because this is a journey, ends.
Great. Something that I want to ask you is about, you were talking about how Hungary is very behind, and I would love to hear your opinion about what is the roadmap that we could learn from other countries that we could potentially adapt. Because, for example, I moved back to Hungary about 3 years ago from San Francisco, and it was definitely a big culture shock to just realize where we are compared to, I realized San Francisco and the tech bubble are a completely different world. So I did take a huge, it felt like I went back 50 years or something like that. But I would love to hear, what do you see that we could learn from it? Because I'm trying to feel that there's positive as an energy around it, because there's so much to do, and we kind of already have seen what has worked abroad. So do you have anything to add to that of like, what do you see are good pointers for us?
Just to add a little bit what Beata said, that why there is so not many women in the startup world, and what are the specialties, what are the ways out from that there are not many women in that women are very much concentrating really on impact. But it is related to the women's role called care. So everything what women are thinking, it's very much related to care as such in large terms. That is, I think, an important asset of women as well. So if we think about startups, many investors are seeking for gender mixed groups for support because male egos can just blow up the startups quite quickly. So if there is a gender balance within an organization, and the big organizations know already that the healthy gender, proportionate gender balance will lead to success. It's really important that women think about their own values and are able to stand up for themselves as well, which is not typical in Hungary. I think that women are, and the society as such, we are much more keen to shut up when there is a conflict. I think we should need assertive methods of conflict resolutions as well, and standing up for ourselves and also for each other, giving some good examples. It's also very much linked to the education, unfortunately, that we still have this Prussian education, which you are never enough. And I think it's very typical in Hungary that women feel that they are never enough, and that's what we have around us. You should be that and that and that, and no less. I think, and women might be really cruel with each other as well. So I think that would be a good way out to strengthen each other within the women's communities. That I think it's really important to cherish ideas and cherish our friendships and be patient and not to envy each other that much like we do. It's a very even I think it's back then in the university, as a fantastic sociologist, János Ladányi, who died recently, was my teacher, and he said, what is the typical characteristic of the Hungarian society? And I said, envy. So I think that we shouldn't be envy. We should be much more self-confident, and we should cooperate, and we should trust each other and find ways of cooperation, and we will feel much better if we have good atmosphere, less toxic environment around us. So that's what you feel probably. So the women have an important role in creating harmony in all levels as well. And for being able to do that, we should be really much self-aware and understanding that we are okay as we are and supporting each other. So that's it. I think that we should know our value, and we should be convinced that we are equal, not just in rights, but inside we should feel that our word really should count, and we should be patient. Yeah, I think for that.
I love that thought about envy, and I definitely feel that, versus the way I would want to twist it is if you see someone doing really well and something's working really well for them, then what can I learn from them? What is it that they're doing that I can potentially also be able to achieve? And so this brings me to the question of, men are very successful, a lot of them, when it comes to entrepreneurial skills and, working within startups. What is it that we could learn from them? From men. And this question goes to both of you.
Do you want to think about it? I need to tell you that I spent 21 years as an executive director, 7 years at PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is one of the big auditor firm, and being an audit manager, I learned how to do the helicopter view of a company. And then 14 years in the media, in television, and being a controlling strategy, business development, HR, and controlling director in my last TV2, 9 years, and before TV3. So, and media is not an easy sector, I need to tell you, and it's very male dominant, not female at all. And it's really fighting. So you've got to be strong in a way to get in a management. I had the similar experiences that we were 10 directors, and I was, at the very beginning, I was the only woman, and then there was a news director, Andrea Pansel, who joined me. But at that time, I was alone. And what I honestly learned very much at the very beginning is delegation. I was the only one woman. They wanted to delegate me. You are controlling, you are over us, you are doing it, and you have to do, and delegating. And delegating the task that they have to do, and I was doing. I had a little postcard at the next to the door of my office with a monkey and a backpack on the monkey. What it means. Whoever comes on the door and wants to bring something, a task, should go out with the task on its back and not staying on my table. Delegation. They want to delegate the task to do, that you do it, you have to do it. No, it's your task and I control, and I do my summary on that. So delegation is one thing that I have learned very much, that I have to be very diligent in that, how I can say that this is how much you can earn, and you cannot leave your stuff and your homework on or your task to do on my desk. The other thing is the decision making. Sometimes you have to be quick in the decision making. But if I might just say something, I learned very much, and sometimes when they wanted me right away, now, decide, now, I want your answer now. And I said no. And you know what I did? I said that. I need time. And this is the only thing that I really wanted. I've got 3 adult daughters, and I told them, you have to show T, which means in the sport games everywhere, time. You need to ask for a time to think it over, even if it's the best deal of your life. You've got to take some minutes, half a day, a night, to think it over. And no one can judge you for not making that decision right away. So decision making, I rather always said, okay, I need a day. And then they understood it. They've had to understand it. So delegation and that one, and then being strong. During COVID, I was mumbling each and every morning because I really wanted to save my co-working space. And my co-working was closed for 4 months. There was no events, no community, no members, nothing, and the space was there. 600 square meter in Ferenciek in 5th district. And each and every morning I stood up and mumbled to myself that I'm strong. I'm strong enough to do it. I'm strong enough to do that. And whenever I wanted to doubt in myself, I even had a music for that, And I think that helps if you really know and you are self-confident and you know that what you do is good, and then saying that you are strong and not letting people weaken you.
I will be feminist now. So I think that if we think about what is really important in a person, what qualities are really important, that, I don't know, creativity, being reliable, being honest, all these qualities are gender neutral. So I think that's one thing that I think what we should learn from men. I think we should learn to want to have the power and the influence. If we are thinking that's the main thing, that what we have in our societies is a huge power and influence gap. And what is about female entrepreneurship is it's a journey about individual success, it's autonomy, independence, growth. I think it should be given for women as well, but it's not. So we have patriarchy back to many thousands of years, and everything was about controlling women, putting them into their places. And we are generations, if we think 150 years behind, what was the role of women and what is now. So if we are thinking in a bigger perspective, it's it's an individual fight, I think, for everybody to change the family patterns, all the prejudices, internal barriers, controls that are coming from outside. So we should be clever, and we are really clever. I think that women are really strong to be able to survive in all these circumstances. And if we are thinking about crisis situations, any crisis, family crisis, a war, an economic crisis, we see the strengths of women. We see how society and economy needs women. Just when the crisis is, and there are strong women who should show themselves and role models and give person who are giving solutions individually and in the hospitals and in the war scenes behind. Just think about women in Ukraine or women of Rwanda. So I think women are fantastic. Just when the crisis is over, then the old game is back, that we are busy with our private lives, with our kids, and we just don't take care about our lives enough. We take care about others. So we should take care about ourselves as well and each other. And I think we should give good examples to our daughters and our sons as well, to how we treat men as well, the women. So I think that women has, they say that the 21st century is the century of women, and I think it is true. It is true that we, as a feminist, I don't think that so-called in a matriarchal society, but I really believe in balance, which of genders, which is based on real equality of in every level, and parity and share of the tasks and on every level. And we should build families, organizations, built on societies built on trust and cooperation. And that's our task. That's the task of the next generation. So sorry for being so much ideologic, but I think that's important.
No, I love your answer. You kind of took what I wanted to say next of let's look at the flip side of it, of what can we learn from men, but what are also the characteristics that are typically more feminine that we should really be thinking about using to be successful entrepreneurs. So I really like your example of how it's actually more neutral. My example from how I've gotten feedback of why they've chosen me for certain positions. So I recently became the president of, it's called Business Women's Network. It's an organization for women to do exactly what both of you are saying, to really bring together a community, to support each other, to act a bit like the Boys Club, where we give each other self-confidence and we refer each other into roles, and, because people tend to hire people that look like them, so you end up hiring the same gender of what you are. And so this is exactly what we're hoping to kind of do as well. But what I was going to say is that when I was asked to become the president, they told me that one of the reasons was because of my empathy, which is very typically a female trait. And I've never thought about that being something that's a strength. It's me crying at videos like the Barbie one, but it's actually something that they saw as a strength that would make me a good leader. I don't know if you've kind of answered this question already, but I don't know, Bella, if you have any thoughts on what are those female traits that we should really lean into to be successful entrepreneurs.
I think that if we need men for sure. So and the balance, that's not a question. But regarding comparing men and female entrepreneurs, I would say that we're really keen on keeping on, so not dropping out things. And if you are talking about 21st century, we don't recover relationships. We rather drop things out or just waste things out. So I think that we need to somehow learn how our grannies repaired their dresses or recovered relationship, or even just hide under their skirts what they said, those things that were not supposed to be said, in a way. What I really want to say is that I think that really we are much more committed and much more engaged. And I need to tell you that my husband on the other side is saying that I still don't see why are you still doing it for 8 years now, the Impact Hub. And I said, hey, you're my first love, but Impact Hub is my second. Of course, my first love and my daughters, but I love my family. But of course, I cannot leave. I fully understand that I cannot leave. I rather now, for example, put in my some capital if we need so, or a bridge loan because we have interact projects that are after, not pre-financed, but after financed. So honestly, even if you are, I'm doing it and keeping it, and it might be seemed nonsense for the other end, but I really love to do. I work with a lot of women, and they are also very passionate. And that's the other word that I would like to use. If you are not passionate, if you don't have the passion about your project, if your project or venture is just a hobby, it's a nice to have, then drop it. So don't do it. If it's not a passion that you want to do each and every day, then don't do it. And that's what I think, that sometimes I meet a lot of male entrepreneurs, and they are saying, some of them, they are saying even sorozatvállalkozó, that they are a series entrepreneur, yeah? So they are jumping from one company to another more than women. And these are the two, I think: commitment, engagement, empathy, which is, and that's how, yes, you hire the same gender. We are 12, and we have one guy. And he's very female-ish kind person, so he was on fraternity leave as well. But yeah, commitment, passionate.
Just to add that I think that there are many men who are empathetic and many women who are not. So, so I think that's very important that we can play on that empathy. And we are really, really different. And there are excellent women leaders, and there are very bad women leaders as well, and very good men bosses. So I think it's very important to see that it's also an individual self-reflection stuff, and we need to be honest with ourselves, where we are, how can we develop, where are our possibilities. Yes, women are tended not to give up their own dreams, and I think it's an asset as well that you can pursue really a path where maybe men make money easier because of the men's circles, and they tend to give money easier to men in the banking, in the investment, but that's again a power issue. So we should, I think, claim every women leader is telling that every women manager that they have to put twice as much work into anything they are doing. We should be aware of every situation when we are doing the double, and be assertive about our rights every day, and not just our own rights, but the rights of our friends, our people around us.
Does anyone have any questions before we close out in the audience?
Nobody else has any other questions because it's all me again. This is actually also one of the reasons why I want of women. The reason why I'm asking, I don't live here full time, but every event that I go to, like now, zero. It's always me. And I wanted to ask you, do you see a change between your generation and the current generation? Do you see like a progression? Because I even asked a gentleman, like Hungarian gentleman, because I wanted to learn a little bit more about the Hungarian culture. I asked him, are women here oppressed? He laughed at me. Of course not. What, but he was offended for that question because he thinks like, oppression is that women, like back in the days. But how you described it, I would say yes. So I would love to hear your opinion about how do you see the younger generation in terms of compared to your generation?
So there is a narrative in Hungary that women should have children, and women are defined through their maternity, whether they have children or not. They don't have children. And every woman is trying to fit to the main narrative that what is a good woman, who is doing the housework, who is raising the kids, and who is not opening their mouths too much. So that's it. So women are kind of self-regulating themselves, minimizing their voices. So that is true. I think women, compared to US, compared to UK, it's really rare that a man like this husband is taking parental leave, really not because of economic reasons, because we have a regulation that men can take. If they had a previous job with good salaries, now they can have parental leaves. And many families are doing that. But the man will still be busy with his own enterprise, and the woman will be doing everything at home in the same time, even if the care is paid by the state for the man. So the roles are really, really conservative in Hungary. I think that that's a good observation. In the generation, I have 3 daughters from 29 to 19. And everybody is having a different life strategy to face this situation in Hungary. So I think that if you are concentrating in Hungary on your economic independence and you are raising your kids to be independent economically, I try to raise my daughters like that it's not the main message in Hungary that you should find a rich husband. Not like in Sweden that and Norway that girls are told that you should be strong and autonomous and stuff like that. So we are still raised according this pattern. But I see the main change. I think that the new generations are much more self-reflective. As young are always critical with the other generations, but I think that they are coming up with much more individual solutions for their lives. And I think they have a very difficult situation in Hungary because it's a country where the talents are leaving the country generation by generation. And I am pushing my daughters to study abroad and go and work abroad if they can, but I cannot do it because they love to be here, unfortunately. But I think it's really important that self-reflection, to see the options you have, analyzing your situation, being honest. I think also the friendships are different. We've been competing much more with each other before. And the next generation, all of my daughters have very good girlfriend circles, which is really different as well, that they are supporting very much. And they are giving advices each other, telling each other if they are getting into an unequal relationship. So they are facing that. They are much more. The awareness is much more different in the young generation. So there is hope. But every generation is different. So our generation was different from the generation of our mothers, and so that's it.
But 2/3 of our audience is from abroad. 2/3. Yeah? You have a question there at the back? Yes. So what I wanted to say, that they are not from the Hungarian culture. I would also say mindset. And of course, whether the topic is interested or you could stand up and that's a mindset work, I think, also, and different. Yeah, we're listening to your question.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm from Budapest. Zito here. I'm a designer, and I really feel that what the design institution is doing is pretty good. And I see some pretty nice familiar faces here. But I agree that we have a huge problem here. It's not many times. It's the visibility, as you mentioned, or just in a way, my visibility or the visibility of my cause, and also the visibility of the project. So I'm pretty happy to be here, but there are not too many like this. So this is a huge problem. So you're talking about guys putting money from one pocket to another. This is not happening here. And of course, this might be a culture shock coming back. I relived that as well. But my question is how to make these things more visible for ourselves as well, and also for the available funds, and maybe, how to overcome all these struggles. So how to make ourselves stronger, because, for example, I'm overcomplicating it. So to stay organized and to focus on your goal and not drop one great idea and then just go for another one. It needs lots of courage, lots of time. We are overworking, as you mentioned, 2-3 times more. So one part is the visibility question, and the other part is how to make ourselves stronger or maybe more cooperative. Some tricks or ideas from your ventures. Thank you.
Thank you, Zita. Regarding the visibility, I think that if you search, and Google is our friend as well as all the media, you will find. If you just tap women, I can tell you a lot of tag words. Women power, Womenture, we have AVE, Academy for Women Entrepreneurs, She's Next. I can tell you all the programs that are regarding women, Power Her, really, honestly, going on just in 2023-24. So if you are in Budapest, as Hungary is very centralized, and that's a real problem, that in the rural areas, the women are in much different cultural and skill set and digitally different situation. So in Budapest, I think that if someone wants to get into a program, to get support, to get mentorship, to go to events, I see a lot of noise in spring and autumn. Of course, summer might be, you are on holiday in summer, yeah? But regarding, or even Shark Tank, for example, is very much looking for women entrepreneurs. It's a goal. So everywhere, wherever I go, like an incubation or acceleration center, and it can be called Started Győr or Started K&H, or it can be called Design Terminal or Impact Hub Budapest or others, or Seeds Foundation, I can tell you more. They all go for women entrepreneurs, to support women entrepreneurs regarding that. So I think there's a huge noise, and if you wanna, you can find it. It's a way that visibility, that's a good question. That's one of our challenges as well. How can you be more visible? And if, of course, it's money on marketing, having good promotions and so on. The next question you had, and just mentioning you that out of the 5 programs that we have done, the US Embassy, for example, supports county is excluded. So in that program, only from rural areas can people come. But also I've done EU leader programs now in the eastern bay of Balaton, Bakony-Balaton Kelet Kapuja, that's the eastern gate, where we've been working with 25 women. Lovely, and a very nice program. And they are starting, and then they get as well grants in order to start, because that's the other challenge, that you get started, but you need a small money. You don't need a big investment. You need something, I mean, 3-5 million forints to start. And that can be given by a grant, or that can be given by an angel investor. Regarding visibility, that was the first one. And the second one, sorry, could you just...
How to support each other.
How to support.
Well, my answer would have been how to support each other, to how to become stronger as women. And what I would say is support each other. And that's what Sheryl Sandberg is doing in the US with Lean In, is just creating communities of women for women to support each other. So that would have been my answer. I don't know if you want.
Can I just have like not more than 2-3 minutes to share it with you regarding third country nationals, as we said that 2/3 of you is from abroad. We realized that there are very many African women or from Asia or Far East coming from Pakistan, from India, from Egypt, from really Uganda, Kenya, coming to Hungary, getting married, and the only thing that they say that the only thing that they do perfectly is cooking their own food, yeah? And you know what they do? And honestly, I know families from Venezuela doing arepa, and they do it illegally. So not legally, they do it at home for takeaways. And this is a problem. And now we realize, because I have like 10 of these women there who really would like to open a little space. They don't want to open right away a restaurant. A takeaway, a buffet would be lovely. And then they can share their national, intercultural, and cultural food with other people. So now we've got a plan called International Kitchen, for example, to set one kitchen. You don't need more, just one kitchen. And then all the people can come there and legally cook there. And if you are just thinking about customer segments, embassies, conferences, a lot of opportunities. And what I really wanted to give this because this is a community of women who love cooking their own food. And this is sharing and doing it in one space. You don't need to open 10 places. So if you have these little cells, kind of 10 people or 5 people or more, that could be a role model, I would say, and giving examples for other industries. That was my ending story, sorry.
Thank you so much, both of you, for your time, for being here today, and for all of your inspiring stories. Thank you. Let's give everyone a round of applause.
Thank you. Before we open up the floor for the 15 minutes networking, it's going to be a bit short, but in the end, you're going to have more time. The networking is supported by Spark Sauna, so I would like to ask Chenge to come here on stage, because they also realized how important the soft skill support for female entrepreneurs. So she prepared something for you.
Okay, I'm only gonna take your like two minutes of your time, because we were sitting like here like 2 hours. But are you excited about networking and the snack working session? Yay! Okay. I got so many goosebumps during these speeches. It was really lovely to hear about to see the Barbie ad, and also like hear about the be strong enough to get through the challenges. So it's really exciting. So Spark Sauna, I'm the founder of Spark Sauna. Basically, we are an empowerment brand and community. Our main products are these bracelets, which are customized by affirmation quotes. I'm here with many caps on my head because previously I was in the male-dominated startup industry for 4 years, and there I felt that sometimes I need some power up in the mornings to get through the challenges and feel the power within me and radiate through me. So that's why I came up with the idea, the Spark Sauna, to have something like to put on like a suit, put on a bracelet with your favorite coat on it, and feel the power, the sparkle within you. And that's connected to the networking session because there are some stickers outside, favorite quotes on it, and choose one that like speak to you and feel that, okay, this is the one I choose for myself today. And you can have a chat with anyone in the room because everyone has like one quote, and you can feel that why is this quote is important for you, and you can like have a little networking, like an informal networking finally. So thank you very much, and we can start the networking session.
Okay, I would like to ask everyone to take a seat because we are continuing after the pose. Just going to wait 1 more minute to wait for everyone from outside. Okay, so for the foreigners who are joining online, just a briefly introduction, because here in Hungary, I'm sure everybody knows Sabina Toman. So she is a really famous entrepreneur. She's the managing director of Toman Lifestyle, Toman Diet. I don't know which version do you know. So she will going to talk about what does the market need, what does women need. So please welcome Sabina.
Thank you very much. I have to tell you the truth, this is my first English speech, so it's a little bit exciting. So for mistakes, I'm so sorry, but I try my best. So I start from really, really long time. A lot of has been said about the gender roles. The Frederic's time, it was the question, men hunted the mammoths and women tended the herd. We can imagine that this symbiotic and clear situation, there was ever question about which role was more important. For the tribe survival, did those living together as which was more necessary? Keep the fire burning or hunting the mammoth? So would you freeze or we dead or starve? I don't think it was a question. Both rules were needed and both sides know it's back then. What changed and how did this affect and become a question? Today a woman can hunt mammoths and men can tend the family herd. Yet life is still about survival. We will starve, freeze, or go extinct. In 2024, only 1% of investment goes to female startups. Investors and entrepreneurs don't trust female entrepreneurs and female employees. When you hear this and sit here, what emotion you feel it? What you feel inside you? Are you surprised or outraged? Are you shocked that we are still here in 2024? My talk be really thought-provoking. I will comfort you with facts, share my own story, and invite awakening and motivation you because nothing less than survival is at stake. I want you to look at these two pictures. Can you help for me? Oh, great. Yeah, just checking. Really. Both the father and the mother are on their phones. What comes to your mind? Do you still feel that warm, fuzzy feeling when you see the working dad caring for his child? It's so touching, isn't it? That men today are also taking part in child rearing. They deserve praise. Praise. By watching the child now, he's taking the load off the mother's shoulders. Do you think, while looking at this father, why he's not fully present with his child? He's not paying enough attention and prioritizing his work over his child. I don't think you do. You see a father who cares for a child with his phone casually at his hand. Now, look at the woman. She's also on the phone. What do you think about her? You criticize her for not being able to put her phone down? Does it even really cross your mind that she's a bad mother or even careerist? What do we women think about these pictures? And what does man see in these images? This is what goods dad looks like. And this is what work alcoholic moms looks like. But if you look closer, and you will see that this mother is standing the fire while hunting the mammoths. So my name is Sabina Tomán. I'm owner of my company, Tomán Lifestyle, been 15 years ago. And with the last 5 years in my life, start my experience with investmenting and showing my company and my strong life, my strong entrepreneurs beginning from my company and teaching women how to believe in their self. I just hear about Dita, Bea, and Kata speech, and I was like, sometimes they spoke about me. Sometimes I just connected really, really closely. And I felt inside my stomach these really bad feelings. I don't know you felt before, but I had so many situations about that. My company promotes a healthy lifestyle, offering foods that support protein diets and products that generally physically well-being program. I'm the sole owner of my company. When I need it, I thought help an angel investor in my company. As after time, I just buy out with a bank loan. My company value is now it's close to 1 billion forints. I'm proud of many things, including contribution to the lifestyle change and weight loss, really nearly almost 20,000 people, clients with my team. With Herbs, what I'm most proud of is that recent years I have also been involved in mentoring female entrepreneurs and for so many interests and female employers, which has become an important issue for me and something dedicate a lot of time to. That is why I'm here today and why it's not just a typical business motivation pitch. I have 3 identities. I'm a mother, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an investor. Why it's important? Because in all of 3 of these roles, I have experienced a lot. I lived thought, I seen a lot, and I'm confident in what I'm going to talk you about today. I haven't just heard about somewhere, how it's going, and what about the men business in the world. I was in the television for 4 years, and I was one of the Shark Tank with 4 men. I learned about so many things about how businessmen are thinking here in Hungary about women's ideas, about how they just try to, give a laugh when I said, I can do it. After you give a birth, after you divorce, and they said to me, even to me, when I was sitting with them in the same table. So it has happened to me and composed to call for change. Really, we have to change. And invite as many people as possible join with me in Hungary and, of course, across the borders too. I'm a mother. I give up my international modeling career to become a mother. At the time I found the man who would be the perfect father and the perfect husband for me. I trust him. I just really step on the traditional family. Really, I give up everything, and I believe it's the most beautiful family what we can do together. Exposed myself, I just vulnerable. When I was a teenager, I had my own income, part-time jobs, later as a model, and quickly experienced what it was like to earn visible sums of money, from which I could fulfill my dreams. Motherhood, when experienced for the first time, makes you really, really vulnerable. It's itself. I gained 30 kilos. My husband rightfully expressed that he didn't marry this type of woman. This experience is painful, and at the same time, while I look back with gratitude on this time, because it hadn't happened, I wouldn't haven't developed the method that I made healthy, effective, lasting, and rapid weight loss possible for me as well. This knowledge allows me to help thousands of many women today, which is incredibly good feeling because I really have connected with them and their stories in my mind, and they really truly tell me what goes about their life, even they are 20 years old, or even they are 80, 85. So back then, I really learned a lot about myself and about seeing my future really darkly in this time, in this period in my life. But my second daughter arrived. I was already a successful entrepreneur. That was a really, really different motherhood, different way of thinking about my child, my second child, my business, and of course, my partner. This may because the father of my second child was truly the one, and it's maybe because excellence of my business made me self-confident, and it's very, very important for us, for women. This confidence, what you earn by yourself, and you know you do it alone. And you can say it if you sit down with so many men and speaking about your money, your business, what's your future, and you just show them the numbers, because the numbers are never lied. So the motherhood is very, very important for me. I have 2 daughters, which is why I'm standing here, to be easier for them to grow up, to thinking, to be really brave, to start something, to make their dreams really come true. És akkor jövök én. I'm an entrepreneur, which is typically I work almost exclusively with women. Almost 100% of my colleagues are women. I have only one guy in my company. I have 25 employers, and he's working on the logistic place in Tatabánya, which I'm very grateful because he's really helpful for us, for that so many women. And I believe we can help for women, we can help for each other. And I believe that energy need my business. My business requires this, for sure. While I myself must endure what ultimately makes me employers choose not to hire female workers. The woman is a risk factor. Do you hear about that? Yes, I see. And what is make me really angry about that, because we can hear it, we felt really, really small because of that. Of course, challenge me as an entrepreneur and as an employer. Think with me about what I take on when I hire a young woman for a position in my company. Okay, let's just play. She's about to start a family, and we both know that it's possible that she will eventually have a child, which is the best thing, I think, in my life and other women's life. This woman, when she becomes pregnant, and maybe the first trimester affects her, as it does so many, takes more leave, but I don't know yet what's behind it. I might worse because she's affected by constant downsize and change a little bit. The first trimester, it's really, really heavy for women. But the men don't think about that. But this woman still hides the news from me, okay? Because this risky, because anything can still happen, we know. Because of genetics testing has not yet been done, and it would be not good if I was an employer, immediately thought about how I would replace her. And we heard about so many times, replace. This woman still wants to prove that she's a good employer because women are like that. We are like that. We would like to show for our boss we are stronger than everyone. We can do the best. We are the best person for this position. Suddenly I find out she's pregnant. Then there's less than half year until her baby is born. Which experience also confirms for a new workforce to fit in the organization and understanding the company operation, understand the vision, the faction effectively, it takes about half year. As if you have a company, you know, if some new employers coming to your company, it's minimum half year to understand and to still work like the other does. What's happening in practice? How can I, an entrepreneur, manage the situation? It's very important because we start looking for her successors, and ideally there is not just a few days for handover. It's very important to think about it. We found someone in time. We are lucky. After this situation, we have no people to hire. We have this really big problem about, and not only in Hungary, really it's a worldwide problem. So anyway, we find one. We hired one. And I can only hire the new works for a definitely period. It's rules in Hungary. So we have to write the contract. For sure, the other partner of mine or my employees knows when she will come back, so the contract will be until that day. It's very important because now I have 2 employers in one place. I have to earn 2 places, which is very hard in Hungary, and as you know, and really the business this situation can really get very slow, and the money is double price for employers, and it's really hard to moving on to helping, and of course look after what we have to do to earn more money to really figure it out the situation. Okay, so the maternity leave has a place to return. During this period, I also have to give her holidays. It's very important, which I have to pay. Think about woman risk again. I just remind you about why entrepreneurs are looking for this, and think about this. Why you are risky. Woman, why risky? That's why. Because, and I just write down because I just heard about the story, why it's important to know. The work permit book, works in Hungary, it came from socialism, and now it's a capitalism in Hungary. We mixed so many things, how to pay a woman when it's at the motherhood time, when it's quit, and when we have to do what we have to do. So it's very difficult to think about it, to care about the woman and the mothering situation here in Hungary. The employers are really risky if you are a woman. I have to tell you the truth, because really day by day, after 15 years, I have, and I will tell you the story, I have so many colleagues are with beautiful babies at home, but my company gets slow, get down, and this replacing, changing, it's make your business really slow. Okay, so when our product developer, and I bring you the story, which is really fresh story in my business. I bring you 2 examples from my own company. When our product developer went to maternity leave, we hired another one. She returned to us after for 4 hours a day, and I'm grateful that in the meantime, we have developed enough to launch a new business on it. So I didn't have to part with the other product developer and hired in her place. My salon manager, this is the second story, I have 30 salons in the country. My salon manager is also went to maternity leave. And I'm grateful to her for telling me in time that she is on her way to having a younger baby. So we didn't have to part with the new salon manager who arrived in her place and who is excellent good colleague. And I just lucky that she telling me the truth. And it's very important because my business can really, really slow again if a woman with a woman are not true. So this is a good situation when you have employers who's really like you, even you are the owner or you are the boss, but it's you have to find a solution to your employers has to trust you and have this really differently connection. Shall I continue? I have so many babies and situations. Should I tell you what it's like a woman colleague returns from a maternity leaves and still can't immediately pick up that treat? This life, this world, it's so fast. We're just running after things. And because we introduced, for example, new case management software, which is she cannot use yet. It's minimum 2 months to learn it. Or because, the AI and the technology, so fast. We are working day by day. We cannot catching the point and we are learning again something new coming out. How come after 2 or 3 years came back? And I have to work with her and teach her minimum 3 months. So, and about when they are coming back, about the child and the preschool, stillness, sick parents are sitting in the office or home office. Of course, in Hungary, the first who's going home with the sick children, it's a mother. It's a mother. It's not a question. Even between us, your daughter is sick, you have to go home. You are here. You said it was yesterday she was sick, no? Yes, but I have a partner. I have a husband who can take care about my child. And that, I think, in Hungary now it's like I'm a witch, what she's thinking. She's working and her child is sick. So it's like things what we have to change about what we're thinking. You and me, woman to woman, employers, investors, we have to think about what she's doing and how she's doing. I'm sorry, I don't know where is, yes. So I'm an investor, which is in the past 5 years, I've partnered with businesses, investors. It's been exciting time and great learning experience for me too. My plan was to find female entrepreneurs. It's very important. When I sit in to this TV channel and serial, it was so good to sit here alone and see the women who's coming with their ideas, their dreams. They would like to show something else, not just for themselves or for me and investors, for the world. They can do it. Those who's I'm looking the women whose really eyes were sparkling with ambition, and they spoke about it. How you have to trust and believe your dreams and your projects. Very important. You have to trust yourself. You have to check what you have to do, what you want to do with your dreams and with your business. That was what I'm looking for. A woman's, when I catch their eyes, they just see me and I believe them. They can do it. If you don't have this look or this feeling, you can do it, never go. Never go to investors. Stop it. You have to believe it. Believe it then more than anything. Because that situation, as a woman, you have to proud yourself and you have to believe, even if it's small cosmetics things. What I saw, easy for me. It's very easy for you make a business. Woman to woman, oh, it's not a big deal. When I had a meeting with one very nice businessman who have really big ego, we just sit down and start to fight with one woman who came with, I think, one cosmetics cream, and the other side of what was one man with some car electric thing. The money, the question was almost really like it was 150 million income a year, this side and that side too. And you know what they say, what he said? Oh, it's just a woman playground. Oh, it's just a cream. And I was shocked because I thought he's thinking away like me. Like, come on. Of course, it's why? The men are not playing with the cars and electric things. So we had fun, we had fights, but after days by days and fight by fights, made me so unbelieving things I have to have for women. Because if I will not doing this, they will never. So what about women? It's very important. However, my long journey, it's also met male and female entrepreneurs, which is the situation in my life and in my business, 60% female and 40% it's men. The truly sad, very, very, very sad. As the situation is really bad because the male entrepreneurs slowly buy out me, and I will able to exit with the profit, all of them. What about the woman? I can consider myself lucky. Really, I will be lucky if I don't lose my money. My last 5 years work and helping and mentoring, I don't count. About only money. And we will see, because it's sad and really disappointing me, because I believed them. I saw them. I saw their eyes. And what's happened? The reason and what's happened, and I could have gone wrong. For example, the second baby arrived in one of my business, one of my mentoring. When a woman decides to have her second child, reality, soon after the first, she made not understanding how much will be for her. 1 + 1 equals more than 2, as they say. Could the company have been better prepared for such a change in her family? Perhaps. But in pointless, think about it, hindsight. I can also give an example for when one of my business partners gets divorced. And suddenly become harder to manage their time, their future, having plenty of plans before, dreaming, growing, go borders. Let's have really, we can eat all the country and we can go other countries and let's do it. And the problem is, like, after having many plans, they just decided to stop. Why? Because there's no need to take bigger slice of the cakes or grow to like really the volume and the markets. This is still manageable. They can see their possibilities, and they can even have the afternoon with the kids. They can go during vacation. There's no needed stress about the women who's divorced. Believe me, it's very, very hard, I know. But when you give up your dreams, you give up something else, the trust. And I tell to them every time when I see them and I meet them, don't give up, because it's not only you. Now we start moving, women are in the business areas, and it's so good to hear it, the happy and investments are made in female startups. Investors and entrepreneurs are lack trust in females, entrepreneurs and female employees. With these two statements, I begin my presentation. I've tried so light and the reason so far. What is the behind? What is the facts? I challenge you. I challenge you and ask you to think with me about the solution. I don't think the right answer myself, but I believe that together we will figure it out. What will be needed? Be sure that the way we're thinking about question needs to change. Change begins by questioning and figuring out how things can be done differently. And change continues where necessary without any legacy hindering it. What can do starting tomorrow? Very important. Use different words. Please don't think in terms of men and women, but family, partners. The tasks are not assigned to mothers and fathers. Instead, they're tasks within a family that really all of us and part of it. What can you do starting tomorrow? Deal with self-knowledge. It's very important for us, for women. Get know yourself in time. What is the ideal life for you? How much work do you want? How much time do you want to spend with your family? How much time want spend with your children? Do you want to take them to the daycare or school? When do you want to return to work? Why do you want your own business? How much responsibility are you willing to take on? What size organization suits you the best? And it's very important. You have to really know what suits you the best. There are questions for which you should continue, and really so many questions, so many answers, and we have to really focus on it, what we will say. What we can start tomorrow? Be honest. And just I think Kata or Bea said, honest, the truth. You have to see, don't lie to yourself, or your husband, or your colleagues, or your employers, or your investors. If you completely, really, truly know yourself and have really many answers about most important question, don't lie about it. Believe that your honest will pay off, like I do and my employees do. And this will benefit you and your really almost your family, your husband, your children, and your life and yourself. And that's most important thing that I wish nothing more for any of us. What else? Listen to your voice. It's very, very important to listen what you say and how you send. It's important to woman, to employers, to other people, and how you standing in front of the business, the men business world, and how can be you honestly, strong voice, but not hysterically. It's very important because I was in a bad situation many times when they said, oh, just a woman. Oh, again, she's shouting. Oh, she has something else problem. You have to be really strong. You have to be listening to your voice. Believe in change. Oh, so many things. And what is, I believe change and will come. Today it's not a problem. Today, problems won't be our children's problems anymore. I believe after 10, 15 years, we can change our daughter's life, our daughter's future. And we have to start it now. We have to start it with these small words and small thinking, how we can be a professional businesswoman, a mother, and really to live your dreams. When I started my business almost 15 years ago, I often felt like there was no place for me in the dominated by men. We have come a long way in this regard. In today's labor market, challenge for a woman is no longer that. The much bigger issue is how to keep a family function when the family heart cannot be guarded by only a woman anymore. I believe that together with our partners and our government, we will win. We will find a solution to win for our children, for our daughters. And one can bring a general solution to the problem. I have many practical solutions. Follow me if you want to see, but it's very, very typical and technical steps, step by step. So, end of my pitch, we are not starving, we are not freezing, we are not dying out. This is the vision of women in the 21st century. Let's do this for ourselves, our families, our husbands, our children, and our ancestors, for those women without whom I could not stand here on this stage today. And maybe in a few years, I won't be standing on this stage talking about surviving, about living, women and men, humans. Humans on this planet with burning passion and full sharing our task as well as our successes. I know it sounds a little bit sentimentally, but I believe this future exists. Keep on surviving, keep on believing in yourself, and do what it's believing, and you can imagine what you can do. Bright eyes, it's very, very important, and you have to believe your idea and your company. Without that, without believing yourself, it will not work. So if I can send you home, first of all, if you wake up tomorrow morning and look at the mirror, believe yourself, because you can do it. If I do it, you can do it too. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Where are the other ones?
Thank you. Okay. Hi, I am Zula. I am from Mongolia. I am a software developer. It's not very related, but I just wanted to introduce myself. And thank you so much for your speech. It was very inspirational. But I was curious about how you solved the issue when there are woman who is your employee and who is on maternity leave, and you have to find another person so that you are paying two-person salary, but somehow you still have to wait 2 years, or did you come up with the idea that after maybe 6 months that they gave birth, they could come back, or how did you manage this?
You know, in Hungary, it's the maternity leave life is like 3 years. So, and the thinking of weighing businesswomen are like a really bad idea to stay at home for only 6 months. It's here in Hungary, it's not normal yet. I hope it will be, but right now it's not a normal way. My employers are really I'm really lucky with them because we work together and we growing together. And it's really good to connect them. So if somebody leaves the company, I always, first of all, I trust them. I give them a situation, possibilities to know what's going on in my business. They can come anytime they want. They can check it, their position, what's changing, information, or we have like every month we have a big meeting with our employers, and they can, if they want, they connected if they want. Of course, we care about them when the baby is coming, so they have to show for us. We make a small party for them, so we keep in touch with them. It's very, very important because if they just, go out from the work and only the mother life, I know it's very, very hard sometimes. But if you have helping from your colleagues, it's very important. So the connecting and keep information about how I miss them, how it was a good idea, how good the new colleagues, to involve them to your work. It's very important. Then, I have to figure it out about the money. Every business, end of the day, it's money. So I have to figure it out. I have 24 women now, 4 of them with the babies at home. So it's a really bad situation. I felt I saw it doesn't work, doesn't grow up my company the last 2 years that fast. What I thought. It's not only because of them, but it's the situation about now in Hungary and about the business. It's really hard to do it. So it's like I have to, or my growing dreams, take it a little bit smaller. So I don't want to go out to, I don't know, in Dubai. It was my plan to went with Tom and Daya to the Dubai market. So I cancel it because it's a lot of money to make your own business, your own company there. So I thought maybe I will do it next year. So it's like if you are the owner of the business, you saw the numbers, you saw your dreamings, your business plan. You have to change it because of your colleagues, your employers. It's very important. So many men are laughing at me because, you will close your stores soon if you think about that. But as I told you my story, it's so important that really they have to tell me the truth. I know if I know the truth, we can manage together everything. So it's very important. And what is really good. Women with women are really connected, and my colleagues are really, really nice persons. So I'm so happy that we can figure it out. But it's if I'm really hungry woman or I'm a shark, it will be a big problem because the money, it's always ding ding, but sometimes you can do it. So with 4 in 20. Yeah, for women, it's like 20% of my company is gone. So I calculated the next year 2 and the other year 2. So I just have my business plan and the baby's plan too. So I have to. I have no other possibility.
Thank you. So if you want to go fast, you can do it yourself, just by yourself. But if you want to go far, then you do it as team.
Exactly.
This is very inspiring quality from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have time for one more question?
Yes.
Thanks for sharing your journey.
Thank you for giving me a question because I was like,
And congrats for your first English
Thank you.
speech. Well done. So my question to you, I don't know what type of investor you are, whether it's a private angel or venture capital, because it will impact the answer. But what do you think as an investor, what can we do as a woman, female investor to get more investors to invest in women's business?
Very important, the truth. The truth, because met many women. I'm mentoring them every year, 10 women I'm mentoring them. If I don't see the truth between them and between me, my ideas and my practical tips, it's not working. So the women are coming in, and what I saw the business, of course, we have to figure it out. It's the market is good or not. They can grow, how much they want to grow, what they sell, and how manage their private life. I know it's not so friendly to ask how many children do you want more, but you have to trust the other one. And if like investors, I have only the questions. Okay, she will give. Oh my God, she will go to have a second one. Of course, I lost so many money. It's a money, but when you lost something with the connected and the businesswoman don't trust you and don't tell the truth, you cannot help. So the truth is very important. And you have to be a B or C plan too. Listen, this is my dream. I want that money. We're going to grow, I don't know, the next 3 years that much. But 2 years from now, I would like to have a baby. What's your plan for that? And every second woman who's coming to me or mentoring about private life or about having baby. Because now we are thinking about, without money, we cannot live, because it's coming like my father money, my ex-husband money, my brother money, my brother no, it's not life, not woman life anymore. You have to your own money. I teach my children too. You have to earn your money. I give up my dreams, I give up my own money, I give up my modeling life, and I had a really bad divorcing time. But I learned so many things from that. So if the women are coming, I have to see the eyes of them. They have to sparkling about the story, about what they believe and what they want to do. Second, the truth. I would like to see their plan, but not only the business plan. Because how they said, well, it's a marriage. I have to know what you're going to do and what can I have for you. It's not only what I will earn. It's like, it's 50-50. So it's very important, don't hide about your dreams, about your family dreams. And yes, of course, you have to find a good partner of that. But you have to make your business to earn money, make business, and make babies. So it's like this, and I tell you again, sparking guys with the good ideas, knowing the markets, and of course the truth to tell the investors. It's very important for me.